We investigated the impact of video pass-through embodiment on presence and performance in virtual reality, a technique that integrates the user's real body into the virtual world. Self-identification is an important factor in enhancing presence and embodiment in VR. Users feel a stronger sense of presence when they recognize themselves within virtual spaces. Traditional solutions rely on avatars that are customized or personalized to match the user's appearance. However, these approaches often face limitations in realism and accuracy. A better approach is therefore to utilize video cutouts and egocentric body representation to enhance self-representation. Previous research has explored video-based self-avatars using different techniques like color segmentation and machine learning to extract the user's own body. These methods reduce discrepancies between the virtual and real body but still face evaluation limitations. With recent advancements in head-mounted display sensors, such as Meta's integration of depth sensors, new possibilities emerge for improving occlusion and embodiment. This brings us to our proposed approach, pass-through embodiment, or in short PTE, which is based on the egocentric video pass-through capabilities on modern XR devices with integrated depth sensors. In this research we want to investigate how PTE performs compared to traditional customizable full-body avatars using only industry-standard XR device without any additional hardware or sensors. Similar to other research, PTE is a VR technique that integrates the user's real body into the virtual world using video pass-through technology. It only relies on a combination of egocentric stereoscopic video pass-through feed and real-time stereoscopic depth maps. In combination with virtual scene-related information, this allows per eye-dependent depth-based keying, allowing us to cut out the virtual scene based on the real-time depth map, revealing the pass-through video. To further enhance user embodiment, we employ two proxy meshes to enhance interaction quality by providing a cutout mesh for the hands and a shadow caster mesh that provides shadows of the user's real body in the virtual environment that improve spatial anchoring. As a result, we achieve an accurate occlusion and interaction in virtual environments as this short video clip demonstrates where the virtual objects are occluded by the real body and vice versa. The egocentric approach determines the correct depth for occlusion and penetration. Note that flickering artifacts are only present in the video due to the 30 frames per second internal recording limit of the HMD. To evaluate PTE, we formulated 6 hypotheses. H1, PTE increases user presence. H2, PTE causes breaks in presence. H3, PTE enhances embodiment. H4, PTE improves task performance over avatars. H5, PTE increases workload. H6, PTE intensifies VR sickness symptoms. In order to evaluate our hypothesis, we conducted a user study with a between-subjects design where each participant is immersed for a fixed time to ensure consistent experience. We used a Meta Quest 3 as a standalone device. The whole study was carried out as a seated experience as animating legs of an avatar is still not accurate enough for standalone devices. As independent variable we had the representation type and dependent variable we had presence, virtual embodiment, task load, VR sickness questionnaire, complete tasks and 2 additional questions about acceptance and identification on a 7-point Likert scale. Participants were divided into 2 conditions. The first condition was our PTE method, where the participants saw their real body integrated into the virtual space via video pass-through. The second condition was a customizable avatar where the avatar is adapted to match the participant's appearance by skin tones and clothing. This avatar was animated using inverse kinematics via the Meta SDK. The procedure consisted of 3 parts, beginning with a pre-questionnaire, the VR experience and a post-questionnaire. We made sure that we create the same experience, that's why we had a strict scheduled VR procedure of 10-minute with audio instructions. That consists of an introduction and training part, the task itself and finally a guided embodiment assessment. For the task, we chose to have a common pick and place task. Therefore, the participants had to sort different colored boxes in the according containers. as this duration was dependent on the time this was repeated until the fixed time was up. We recruited 40 participants with nearly equal distribution of gender with an average age of 29. Most identified as European, with 1 Turkish and 1 Iranian participant. To evaluate our results, we used an independent t-test with Levene's test for equality of variances with an alpha value of 0.05. We found strong significant differences in general presence and embodiment, particularly in the subscales body ownership and change, and identification. This is additionally highlighted in the calculated effect sizes on the different subscales. These results align with previous research, which shows an increased presence and embodiment with higher self-identification. We therefore can only accept hypotheses H1 and H3 that we had an increase in presence and embodiment. However, that we are rejecting the other hypothesis, this can be interpreted as not significant negative effects on performance, task load, VR sickness symptoms or breaks in presence. The major benefit of PTE is that it simplifies self-representation by removing the need for avatars and animation method, while still ensuring full-body representation of the own body in VR. However, there remain several limitations. We encounter visual aliasing artifacts based on the depth map resolution and issues such as smearing and warping due to video pass-through. Additionally, there are performance constraints related to the per-object basis approach and limitations regarding room size. To conclude, we investigated PTE in a user study compared to a customizable avatar. We found significant differences in presence, embodiment and identification, whereas the other scales for performance, task load and VR sickness can be interpreted as no negative effects. Our study demonstrates that PTE significantly enhances immersion and embodiment in VR, making it a promising alternative to traditional avatar-based representation, particularly for self-representation. However, its applicability may be limited in scenarios requiring the embodiment of different characters. Thank you for your attention.